We're live. Yay! We're live.
Live. Hi, Ron. Hello.
Keeping it real. Oh, look, we've got. Oh, you're the only one who could do that. Fabulous. Well, after last week's mayhem where they let Mel and I loose, I think it's probably good to have a third person in here so that we don't end up talking about all sorts of stuff like we did last week.
Yeah.
So happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday indeed.
Happy Friday. So this week then, everybody's face, everybody's feeling a little bit like what the actual is going on.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
It's great. It's weird in a way, but like totally expected that everybody seems to be feeling the same way. We're all connected, aren't we? And
yeah,
I think that the Real You Online coaching call the other night where Donna and Cheryl were talking about basically tough love coaching, around the fact that all of our routines, we're all like it, you get into these great, amazing morning and evening routines that are really good for setting your day up and getting you to sleep and stuff, and then they just go out the window sometimes. Life gets busy and they literally out of the window. And I wish I could share my screen now as well, because one of the things that they were sort of talking about as well, I don't know if that was on that or the bounce back ability, was that, like having all the tabs open on your computer, and that's kind of like what your life's like. And I think at the time, I had about 27 open, and that wasn't including all the documents that I had floating around in the background. And the thing with Macs as well is you can go into like mission control and you click that and it just shows you everything you've got open, and it almost gave me a heart attack. So I've closed it all down. I have now got 4 open. So
that's good. All right, that's an improvement.
But how are you ladies feeling about like your daily routines? Have they slipped of late, or are you getting better at them? Or
mine have gone to shit.
There we go. Real well.
Straight in there. Yeah, I was getting on really well with mine, and it was difficult. I started to get a little bit busier, and just thought, I won't do my planner today. I've got it in my head. I don't need to write it out. I just need to like log on, get started on the working day. It's in my head. But then you don't do the evening reflection because you haven't really written anything down, or it's not in your mind because you haven't been physically present with it during the day. And then the next thing was, oh God, I'm so tired now. I'm just in bed. I'm fine with attitude, but I can't. I've got the time for meditation. I just actually want to go to sleep. And my carb intake has gone up this week. So I need to sleep because I'm also feeling for lunch.
You're breaking up, darling. I can't hear a lot of what you're saying. Are you?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what were you saying? What happened this week?
My carb intake
shot up.
It was a quick grab because I'm so busy. So, and sleep, I've been going to bed later, sleeping less. I'm still getting 6 in the morning to do my exercise. So my sleep for about the last 2 weeks has been consistently less than 7 hours. So yeah, and that all feeds in, doesn't it? I'm tired. I haven't got the energy for the routine. So I need to pull my socks up. Or this is what I got from my from listening to the coaching calls during the week. Reconnect. I need to reconnect with why I'm doing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because it's a task on my to-do list. I'm doing it because it makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
And it keeps me in touch with my clarity, with keeping it real, with being authentic, with everything else. It's not a task on my to-do list. I think I've been falling into that category. Me.
Oh, Karen's saying? Seems good at 8, but by 12 it slides to the side as brain fog comes in. So tea and snacks instead of a long walk as planned. Yeah. There was quite a few people that were saying that the other night, weren't they? It's just a case of the day goes on, and you're kind of like, oh well, yeah, you know, I've sort of started well or haven't started well, and then it all goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I said, this week boundaries are in place, finishing work at a reasonable time, but then last night I worked till 10 o'clock.
Oof.
But there was team. Well, I mean, I had like about half an hour, 45 minutes off to have some dinner, and then went back to it. So the only thing that made it bearable was I was on Teams with two of my colleagues, but then we were like, "Are you going to get a drink?" Yes, I'll get a drink as well. So they're going, "Cheers!" So we're both all talking together about the project, having a couple of glasses of red wine, and at one point I'm like, "This is healthy."
Yeah.
I'm drinking because I'm on a work call
Yeah.
at 9:45 at night. It was lovely having the company, but there was nobody there going, "Does this seem crazy?"
Yeah. And that's the thing, is what you're saying about the whole is so right about that connecting back to why it's important and how it makes you feel. And yeah, I think it's that's it. And it's not just because you're not doing it just because it's like a regimented like thing that you have to do every day. It's because it's got like really great effects in our life, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was on a call with Janet, who is one of Brent's team. So I was on a call with her on Monday, and I was I felt really sorry for her. She's like, "What's great for you this week?" I'm like, "Janet, there's always something brilliant to you." And she had a real like. Anyway, at one point she went, "How do you want to feel?" I was like, I haven't asked that question for a really long time. I've asked, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? But I haven't asked the question, how do I want to feel? I haven't asked that question. So that's on my radar now. How do I want to feel today? How do I want to feel?
That's so
How
good.
is my routine going to help with how I want to feel?
I'm writing that down. How do I want to feel today?
How do I want to feel? How about you, Jo?
But it's really good what you say, because as soon as you say that, you instantly think, well, I don't want to feel shit and I don't want to feel bad. And it just makes, it kind of snaps you out of it, doesn't it? Where did those lunchtime meetings come from? To putting in more, need to reject more of them, goal for the week ahead.
Yeah.
That's a good goal. Yeah.
I think there's a few things you've said there. So for me, yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'll have all the good intentions and then they'll slide. But I'm also, something been massive for me for like ages now is just like, I also try not to beat myself up too much. So for me, like, it's just saying some gratitudes in my head, like simple things. So in the morning, there's no excuse to not, and I wake up and I'll smile and I'll think good thing, and to me that's a teeny little win that is, you can do it. It takes like as long as you want it to take, but then at least that's like one thing that I've done straight away. And then I'm finding that like I can just like more regularly tap into that. So it mightn't be something like get something out and write it down, like because sometimes I'll do that really well, and then other times that'll just kind of go out the window because I'll be too tired or I'll choose to do something else. And then it's just remembering that like it's all a choice, isn't it? And even if I just do some breath, breathing, or just a little affirmation in my head, like at least I'm doing something. So I think like that's good. And it's that same old thing, and Donna and Charles say it all the time, isn't it? It's like as soon as you say you're too busy to do it is when you need to do it.
Yeah,
we're all absolutely. But I think that's a really good point, Jo. That recognise what you do rather than what you don't do. So I'm still getting up in the morning and exercising. I'm still doing my gratitude every day. Even if I'm not writing down in the planner, I'm still thinking a little bit about some of the questions that are in there. So maybe we need like bronze, silver and gold levels of data. Give ourselves permission, like, I'm going to go into bronze today for X, Y, and Z reason. And we don't feel so guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, whoever's saying hi. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, because it doesn't come with your name.
But it is, and that's been massive for me. It's, I mean, I can be one of those people sometimes who writes a list, even when I've done it, just so I can write the list and tick it off. To me, do you know what I mean? Is that just me? So,
Jo, that is like such an insight.
You're already done, but I'll be like, so I can tick it. And it is, it's you know what I mean? It's like you got to get it. But it is, it's like all levels. And it's just, even if that day you just do one thing, and that one thing is to have a positive thought, even recognizing, and I'll find myself doing that now, which is massive. It's just going, choose again. I'll just have that, choose again, exactly what you're saying, Mel, and what that woman said to you. How do you want to feel? So it's choose again. What can I do? What can I think? And that it doesn't have to be taking all my time to do it. It can just be a simple little thing. Like you said, Yvette, it's just not having everything open at once. It's trying to focus on one thing. Because when I'm writing, like, you can get totally overwhelmed with like so many different things feeding in, and you've just got to close it down and just in your head, you've just got to do it. And I think everyone can do that. It's like focus on what you're focusing on now. So it's like turning off the notifications on your phone so they're not beeping with a WhatsApp group that's, close it down and turn it back on when you're ready. And I've heard and seen so many other people in terms of productivity, they do that a lot, don't they? Turning the phone off or putting out the way. It is, and we can all do it. We can control sort of what we allow in. And then at the end of the day is not to beat yourself up over it.
That is such a good statement. We control what we let in, because I'm a nightmare. Everything's on all the time. All of my notifications. I mean, I have turned off my Facebook notifications on my phone, but my WhatsApp notifications, my text notifications, I've got it all going on the computer as well. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but I limit myself to max 5 tasks, things non-negotiable ones. That's quite similar to what the Brendan Burchard plan is about, isn't it? Do you know how we were talking about when you close things down, like you say, Jo, and getting really focused? I've been listening to oh God, what's her name? Carrie Green. I think her name's Carrie Green's She Means Business. And it's just a really lovely book on her and how she started the Female Entrepreneur Association. And what I've been doing is I've got myself a little book, a little journal, and it's what I do at the end of every day now. This is it was one of her suggestions. It's called My Entrepreneurial Adventure, because I'm just finding that when I'm at the point where I leave this desk, no matter what time it is at night, I'm writing down what it is I'm feeling and getting it all out of my head so that I can then go to sleep. And it's just bizarre. I mean, I only started it this week, so I've only got 3 entries in it, but it's just a roller coaster. The first one is, oh my God, this is so hard. It was all I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do about this, and it's so hard, and I can't find this, and I can't find that, and and I'm worried about this, and I'm worried about that. And part of it was, bollocks to this. I'm just going to focus on the stuff that makes me feel happy, which was just great, because it ended up being working with the clients, and then the next entry, it's like I'm a bloody schizophrenic. When someone reads this back, it's going to be insane. It was all about, I've just had the best day. I've met with all these clients, and it's fabulous, and this piece of work and that piece of work. But it's great because it just it was like a bit of an a cleanse, at the end of every day.
But it is. It is. It's up and down. It's and I'll be like that. 1 minute it's like, oh my God, there's too much. I've got too much to. I'm doing this, but what about all these other things I should be doing? And then the next minute you're like, oh God, it's great. I did that, and tomorrow's a new. It really is. It's and what was this spinning all the plates? But it's whoever the face. Tina. Tina.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina.
And it is just limiting yourself to 5, 3, whatever it is. Because I remember Don and Cheryl coaching me on this a year or so ago. It's not having a massive long to-do list. It's saying, what are the most important? What do I need to get done today? What's the one thing, 2 things, the whatever, and what's the one thing that would help me move my business forward or whatever it is. And it's being really strict. You've got to be strict with yourself.
Yeah.
You do, and the struggle that I've had, well, for a while, probably since in this job, and it was I was trying to get on my call on Monday, was I don't have that level of control in my day. I can set that I want to do that day for my own workload, and then all it takes is our director to go, I need this, I need that. And I feel I am constantly juggling somebody else's demands, not my own. And I do try and push back about, well, what can I control and what can I feed back about? But ultimately, everything needs to get done, which is one of the reasons why I'm so keen on my own business. So I have choice. I feel like I will have more choice. But at the moment, when you are in employment and somebody, I remember Donna and Chelsea, when they were in corporate, their diaries were full by other people. And if they got half an hour on there without something in, they were like, oh my goodness. And that is very much, I think that's a challenge that a lot of us face when you're working for somebody else. You can set your intentions. So many times I go back to when I have filled in the planner and go, that went out the window. Because you're being pulled in several different directions by different people. So if anybody out there has the solution to this, apart from you can control things, because I'm going to push back, well, you can't always, then please let us know. Because my thing for weeks and weeks now has been, one of my daily things has been, I want to feel calm. I'm not going to get pulled into other people's stress levels. I want to feel calm, because that's when I work at my best. Not when I'm being told.
Maybe that is your control thing then, where you're saying that you're not in control of stuff, but maybe your control thing is that you choose to be calm when this stuff comes over the fence, you know, because that is like within your control. You might not be able to control the tirade of crap coming over the fence, but you can, you know, you can choose how you react to it. So that kind of makes you feel a little bit more in control.
I like that. Thank you. I like that. But that's the battle, you know, when somebody else is kind of going, have you done this? Have you done that? Is that finished? Where are we with that? I'm like, well, you told me to concentrate on this. Yeah, but where are we with that? Well, that's a different thing. And sometimes you're really fighting to go, stay calm, stay in control.
Do you guys ever do those? Do you know what I always find really interesting when I was doing that is those Colourworks things. So people they fall into yellow if they're all about fun, blue if they're all about process, green if they're about if they just get shit done. And I always think whenever I hear someone asking for something, I think, oh, okay, you're coming from a very red energy. I get that's just like be bright, be brief, be gone. And that's how I profile most of the time anyway when I was in corporate. So I had a nickname. I had a nickname in my team because sometimes the brain didn't engage before the mouth opened, and they used to call me Captain Savage because I used to just say stuff which, I mean, yeah, well, you know, it came out of my mouth and whoops. But yeah, it's almost like when I understand what sort of energy they're coming from, it's kind of a case of, oh, all right, okay. Then I think, oh, how am I going to respond to that? You know?
Yeah.
It's I don't know what the terminology Donna and Cheryl used before, but isn't it? It's once you look at it from the other person's needs of what, you know, isn't it? It's like looking at like, oh, your manager's he's under the cosh from someone else, so it's just him. It's also about how people communicate it out, isn't it? And some are better than others.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember working for this guy once years and years and years ago. He was one of the kookiest people I'd ever met, but he loved controversy. So when he was in the boardroom, he loved to like poke at people and just see what the reaction was. And he was just so controversial. And I always remember we were doing something and he was just so super clever as well. Really, really clever, really good with numbers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, alongside being like, you know, having a finance degree and degree in actuarial and stuff like that. He was doing a PhD in, I don't even know, some sort of science that he just for a hobby, just for shits and giggles, you know. And anyway, and I had a business coach at the time because you know, when you're on like, you know, when they put you on these like management, you know, things, they sort of say, oh yeah, you can have a business coach. And we were looking to do this, whatever this particular job was or project or whatever, and I was so frustrated, and I was like, I don't understand how he cannot see that this is the best way to do this. It will do this, 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 and this is how it's going to go forward, and blah blah blah. And she said to me, she said, but if you did it his way, would you get the same result? And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's just stupid. It's not the right way, you know. And I was very like kind of set in there, like, but if you did it his way and it got the same result, and he wasn't kind of feeling like he was butting up against you, don't you think that would be better for your relationship? And I was like, oh god damn it, yes, fine. Okay.
But when do they think about that from my point of view? They're going, if I did it this way,
yeah,
for our relationship.
And it took, do you know what, is because I'm very stubborn with stuff like that, and it took so much, and I did whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. It was some sort of communication project, which is, oh yeah, that was it, because I was in my zone of genius with the comms stuff, and he wasn't, and we did get the right result and everything, and our relationship was okay. But I was just like, ooh, this is me having to take a proper like humble pill here.
Yeah. Oh my! I remember at work a few jobs ago, very intelligent guy at work came in, kind of went, so we're working on like appraisals and training for appraisal. Yeah, he's like, I've put something together that might help you. Well, that instantly heckles up something. You're an engineer, and I'm the HR professional.
Yeah.
So you've already got my back up, and I'm trying on my face not to kind of go. And he handed over this document. I'll leave this with you. I was like, thanks. 23 pages, like 23 pages, both sides filled, on how to set smart shifts.
No. Oh, from an engineer's perspective.
Even in appraisal training, we cover smart in like 5 minutes because it's not hard. And I'm like, I felt sorry for him because he's clearly gone, I think I'll break this up. And then got lost in this, but I can't do that. How on earth he managed? And at that point, I'm like with you, that I'm not putting myself in his shoes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything with this.
Yeah.
I cannot get onto your level with this. Oh my god! And like, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, you're clearly blue. Like at that time, was for me, it was like the analytical. No, so blue. Green was very attention to detail and analytical. And I'm like, yeah, you're blue, and you're talking to like airy fairy. Hello.
But that's the thing as well. Mercury's in retrograde. It went into retrograde on the 13th, so until the 3rd. So when we're talking about communication here as well, we just need to be aware of that, because communication between now and the 3rd is going to be tricky anyway. And yeah, and technology is not going to be particularly great either.
No change there for me.
Do you know what though? Donna shared something this morning which was really lovely. I wrote it down as well. It was a TED talk. You can go on and just have a look on YouTube. It's on there, from a guy called Richard Davidson. And it's about mindfulness and the science behind mindfulness and how that rewires your brain. And I was just thinking about that because of what we're saying about routines, because I mean, like you with your exercise, and Mal and Joe, you with you know, waking up with like your gratitude and you're smiling in the morning. You guys have rewired your brains there, because months ago that wasn't there, and it's all, we're kicking ourselves and saying, oh, you know, the routines have gone out the window.
Yeah.
But some of them haven't, and it's that I love the fact that science is now caught up, I guess, with like where all this sort of thinking is. And it was a really good talk, and he said something at the end, something like I'm paraphrasing, but like, the, you know, go out there and try this, try and rewire your brain. It doesn't take as long as you think it does, because humanity depends on it. Like we've got to change the way we're thinking, and, you know, focusing on like the joy side of things as well, you know.
No, you're right. And it's true, and I think that's what it's like. You get to a point, and then you go, oh well, that doesn't count anymore. So I can discount the fact that from my learning and understanding now of mindset and stuff, you can kind of almost discount like how far you've come.
Yeah.
So you just go, oh well, I'm not. Well, I'm not. It's like what is it to say? Like it's always like picking out what you're not doing rather than what you are. So I can say, well, I'm not journaling every night or every morning or what have you, but I'm almost without thinking about it. I'll think of some. I'll think of or the choose again thing comes into my head,
Yeah.
or I'll wake in the morning and smile and just think of it, some gratitudes and stuff. And that's all. It's and when you think of it, when you actually stop and think, wow, like there's been a shift in our brains and everyone will have their own little things that they do, but there's been an actual shift and it becomes your normal. So it's like you shouldn't discount that's a massive shift. And I find myself now, instead of getting into a taze, I'll still get into a taze, but I'll find myself, like I've said before, getting into one and then even just acknowledging it and going, you're going down this path that's not going to serve you.
Yeah.
Step back. And I can do that now. And again, you've got to like high five yourself for stuff like that.
Yeah. Celebrate your
wins. The day, you've got to be like, do you know what I mean? And like you, Mel,
that is so true.
Like you're doing your exercise still every single day. So you say, you might be going to bed later or working later, but your non-negotiable thing for you didn't even think about it, is you get up and you
I do something. And my win is I can get back into my skinny dress from 4 years ago.
Wow.
Do I think about that when I'm going, hey, how bad have you been today? You haven't done this, you haven't done that. And I forget that, but you can get in your skinny dress.
Oh, that's so good.
You wore a jumper that you haven't worn for years. You get on the scales and go, oh, that's where I was before I had a baby. I'm liking it. And that just all goes out the door.
Yeah. Because you go, it's on the, well, I should be doing this. Well, I should be doing the shoulding thing. And it's like, do you know what? You're getting up, you're exercising, you're seeing the benefits physically. But then it's almost like, oh, well, what am I not doing? And
I know.
you just go, well, what am I not doing though? What can I feel bad about because I haven't done? Instead of,
I feel like we have to, like, the three of us, we've like bonded on this, and we need to do some sort of like power thing for next week where we're going to be like, because all I've got in my head all the time, my little thing that stops me when I'm going down a route of those is like, I've got the very northeast accent going, belt up in my head. That's the accent. And then that's my thought interrupter. Yeah, that's it. Do it really loud and shouty.
Belt up.
Here we go. That's it. That's it for next week.
That's quite a team version as well, isn't it, for Donna and Charles?
Well, yeah, there's probably a few F's and Jeffs in there as well.
Have you ever heard of the book Sumo?
Sumo.
Shut up, move on. It's a really funny book, and I just remember the first chapter, or in the book at some point, this guy's going, have you ever met the person who, I never get a promotion, I never get, people just don't get on with me, and kind of go, yeah, have you not spotted what the common denominator is there? Shut up, move on. And apparently the guy, I can't remember the guy who wrote it, but apparently he's a really engaging speaker.
Yeah.
And I like that one. I'm going to whisper a little bit more. Shut up, move on. But I love that. And sometimes you find yourself, if you're getting on there, you're inviting yourself to your pity party and you're getting all prepared to have a little bit of a like, it's like, hey, come on, shut up, move on.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like it's knowing when to do that, isn't it? Because there's sometimes when you're going to need to feel the feels,
Absolutely.
But then there's other times when it is just genuinely a shut up and move on. Yeah.
Yeah, I am starting to recognise when I'm feeling the feels and when I'm kind of really going down there. Oh, who am me? And then I'm like, come on, you don't do this anymore.
I've started. I've made playlists for myself now because you remember I did that archetype thing. So I've now got a playlist for my huntress, who is the get shit done person. Which, to be fair, all it is one tune. It's the theme tune for Wonder Woman. You know, like the new one.
I love that playlist with one tune.
I know, and then I've got like the Wild Woman, which is like some like crazy. It's a lady called Dea Dover, and so it's a like crazy. You can imagine like it being played in the jungle or something. So whatever I'm trying to channel at the moment, I'm kind of feeding that through. So
that's so much more positive. I've got a playlist and I called it Doing the Ironing. So imagine this is in the 70s used to listen to when they were just ironing. And it's every single like really sad 70s love song. It can cry.
Oh my god, Mel!
Oh my god! Sometimes it's like I'm gonna melt the tune down because I'm feeling quite strong. And it's like I'm just going to bed and listen to my tune. And then one of my friends rang last night on the work call, and she's like, "What have you got on in the background?" And you know this song, "You Needed Me," and she's like, "You're so sad." Like, I will be when I've listened to this.
You're going to need to
make it, then you just feed them in. And I'm a very emotional person. I love all sorts of, I'm like dancing around 1 minute and next minute I love a lovely song. But I've just got a Greatest Showman in the car. So get the kids, on the way to getting the kids to school or whatever, I'll whack that up and
but Joe, it doesn't have the power of Dionne Warwick. I'll never love it again. When you're on your own drinking red wine.
I think, should we leave it at that, ladies?
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. I need help.
Richard Jones springs to mind, doesn't it? We watched that the other night.
Have a beautiful Friday, everyone, though.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.